The air hung heavy with the scent of distant battles, the faintest whisper of steel clashing somewhere beyond the mist-shrouded peaks. In this land, where the elegance of tea ceremonies coexisted with the brutal finality of the blade, where a man's life path seemed etched in stone from the moment of his birth, imagine a soul utterly foreign. Imagine being torn from the familiar embrace of your homeland, propelled across vast, unforgiving oceans, only to find yourself deposited in this enigmatic world. Yet against all logic, you do not merely survive. You do not merely bend to its customs. You ascend. You ascend to become a warrior, revered and respected. This is not a fable spun from the threads of imagination. This is the astonishing, verifiable chronicle of Yasuke, the African man who stepped onto the shores of feudal Japan and against all odds became a samurai. Vast and unforgiving, the ocean stretched between two worlds, a formidable barrier overcome by an indomitable spirit. Our narrative unfolds long before Yasuke's feet ever touched Japanese soil. The precise details of his origins remain veiled in the mists of the 16th century, whispers suggesting he hailed from the sun-drenched plains of Mozambique, the ancient highlands of Ethiopia, or perhaps another corner of the immense African continent. What we know with certainty is that he arrived, a man of imposing height and powerful build in his mid-20s, serving as both guardian and confidant to an Italian Jesuit missionary named Alessandro Valignano. The year was 1579, and Japan, a fractured mosaic of warring provinces, writhed in the throes of the Sengoku Jidai, the age of warring states, a crucible of burning ambition, unyielding loyalty, and savage conflict. When Valignano and Yasuke finally made their grand, unexpected entry into the imperial city of Kyoto in March of 1581, the effect was immediate, profound, and utterly without precedent. The narrow streets, typically bustling, now swarmed with a sea of curious onlookers. Men and women alike clambered onto walls, shinned up trees, anything to catch a fleeting glimpse of this man unlike any they had ever encountered. Jesuit accounts of the era speak of an almost unbelievable pandemonium. But it was not merely the common folk who were enthralled. Whispers, carried on the wind, soon reached the ears of the most powerful man in all of Japan, a figure whose ambition blazed brighter than any forge, a man consumed by the singular vision of unifying the disparate kingdoms under his unwavering, iron will, Oda Nobunaga. Nobunaga, a figure renowned for his insatiable curiosity and an almost revolutionary fascination with foreign cultures, was instantly captivated. He had already heard the intriguing whispers of the black man who accompanied the Jesuits. When Yasuke was finally brought into his august presence, Nobunaga's initial reaction was one of profound skepticism. He simply could not conceive that a man's skin could possess such a profound, natural darkness. He commanded Yasuke to be stripped, to be scrubbed with fervent intensity, utterly convinced that the color was merely a stain, ink, or perhaps the grime of a long journey. But no matter how vigorously they scrubbed, Yasuke's skin remained undeniably, powerfully, inherently dark. This inherent, unyielding darkness, coupled with Yasuke's imposing stature, his height, it was said, easily dwarfed most Japanese men, only deepened Nobunaga's already intense fascination. From that pivotal moment, Yasuke's life embarked upon an unimaginable trajectory. Nobunaga, profoundly impressed by Yasuke's commanding physical presence and keen intelligence, swiftly integrated him into his personal service. This was no mere passing fancy, no fleeting curiosity. Nobunaga bestowed upon Yasuke a Japanese name, Yasuke. He was presented with a gleaming katana, granted a humble yet respectable house, and provided with a regular stipend, privileges typically reserved solely for those of samurai lineage. While historians continue to ponder the precise implications of his samurai status, the intricately woven tapestry of Japan's social structures was undeniably complex. What remains unequivocally clear is that Yasuke became a trusted retainer, a loyal weapon bearer, a vigilant bodyguard, and an intimate member of Nobunaga's most inner circle. He even received the extraordinary honor of dining alongside Nobunaga, a gesture that spoke volumes of the immense respect and camaraderie that had blossomed between them. Yasuke's time within Nobunaga's orbit, though tragically brief, was nonetheless intensely vibrant. He bore witness to the intricate machinations of power, the ceaseless pursuit of unification that consumed his lord. He was present during pivotal battles, observed cunning political maneuvers, a silent yet potent testament to the remarkable ability of an outsider to not only survive but truly flourish in an unfamiliar land. It is highly probable that he mastered the Japanese tongue, adopted the nuanced customs of the local populace, and undoubtedly honed his martial prowess to a formidable degree. His striking appearance, once a source of mere spectacle, now transformed into a symbol of Nobunaga's remarkably eclectic court, a living embodiment of the unifier's fascination with the exotic and his penchant for audaciously shattering tradition. Yet the Sengoku period, for all its grand ambitions and bold aspirations, was also an era steeped in the brutal, unforgiving sting of betrayal. The year was 1582. Oda Nobunaga, perched precariously on the precipice of realizing his ultimate lifelong ambition of unifying all of Japan, found himself ensconced within the tranquil confines of Honnōji Temple in Kyoto. It was here, surrounded by a mere handful of loyal guards, that destiny, entwined with the serpent of treachery, abruptly intervened. Akechi Mitsuhide, one of Nobunaga's most trusted and seemingly steadfast generals, inexplicably, shockingly, turned against him. The temple, once a sanctuary of peace, was encircled, then consumed by the hungry flames. Chaos, raw and untamed, erupted. Within the searing inferno of Honnōji, Yasuke stood resolute, a bastion of unwavering loyalty beside Nobunaga. He fought with the ferocity of a cornered beast, fiercely, side by side with his esteemed lord, a true warrior until the very end. Yet the overwhelming tide of the enemy was insurmountable. As the temple crumbled and burned around them, Nobunaga, embracing the unyielding tenets of the samurai code, chose to commit seppuku, ritual suicide, rather than endure the indignity of capture. It marked the tragic, fiery end of an era, and with it, the direct patronage that had so uniquely elevated Yasuke. Yasuke, having bravely fought alongside Nobunaga's eldest son, Oda Nobunaga, until he too was tragically overwhelmed, eventually found himself captured by Akechi's victorious forces. One might have, with grim certainty, anticipated a swift and brutal execution for a retainer of the defeated warlord. But Akechi Mitsuhide, in a perplexing turn of events, made a most curious decision. He spared Yasuke's life. The rationale, as reported by chroniclers of the time, was chillingly pragmatic. Akechi purportedly viewed Yasuke as not Japanese, and therefore not bound by the same rigid codes of honor that demanded seppuku or the summary execution of vanquished samurai. Yasuke was released, sent back to the Jesuits, his erstwhile companions, and then, like a wisp of smoke, he simply vanished from the meticulously kept annals of history. What became of Yasuke after the devastating conflagration of Honnōji remains one of history's most tantalizing and enduring mysteries. Did he somehow manage to return to the distant shores of his homeland? Did he choose to remain within the quiet confines of the Jesuit order? The chronicles fall silent, offering no further clues. Yet the brief, intensely lived chapter of his life in Japan left an indelible, profound mark. His story, though frustratingly incomplete, resonates with an almost primal force. It speaks to the astonishing power of human adaptability, the audacious defiance of rigid social strictures, and the remarkable open-mindedness of a unifier like Nobunaga, who possessed the rare foresight to see beyond superficialities of color and predetermined origin. Yasuke's journey stands as a vibrant microcosm of early globalization, a powerful testament to a 16th century world far more interconnected and intricately woven than our modern perceptions often allow us to imagine. It serves as a poignant reminder that the grand tapestry of history is not merely a dry collection of dates and battles fought, but a richly textured fabric woven with the individual threads of countless lives, some of whom, like Yasuke, utterly defy all preconceived expectations. He was the quintessential outsider who, through sheer force of presence and perhaps a touch of ethereal destiny, forged his own fleeting, yet undeniable, place in a land that was not his own, leaving behind a legacy that continues to captivate and inspire generations, transcending the boundaries of time itself. Yasuke's story serves as a potent reminder that true heroes can emerge from the most unexpected of places, and that the indomitable human spirit, irrespective of its origins, possesses an astonishing capacity to not only survive, but to truly flourish and thrive in the most extraordinary, unforeseen circumstances. If you find yourself captivated by the untold narratives that lie hidden within the annals of history, then do not hesitate to subscribe for more profound explorations into the enigmatic corners of our collective past. Thank you for embarking with us on this journey through the astonishing and utterly unique life of the African samurai.